We started in 2015 in my mom's basement, actually. Trevor and I used to play in bands back in the day. I was moving home from college, hit him up, hey man, you want to start a band? We showed up, and we were like, maybe we'll be like a post-hardcore band. And then we were like, nah, let's go the punk route. So after jamming a little bit, we got introduced to Austin, mutual friend of Trevor's. And he came, jammed with us. He was originally a guitar player. Great songwriting capabilities, though. Moved him to bass, but then he ended up being the front man for the band. So he's a very nice voice as well. And then a bit further down the road, I had met Cam on an afternoon at a bar one time, and he would come to our shows before he was involved with Fawx, and he always gave actually valuable feedback. He was always kind of supporting, showing up, and we had an old member drop out, and we were just like, hey, I know this guy. You know, he comes to our shows. He always has feedback.
That's literally what it was. Hey, I know a guy.
Yeah, I know a guy.
Hey, guy.
And we tried him out, and he showed up and already knew a couple of the songs just from listening to some recordings. Yeah. So we decided to roll with Cam, and that's how we got to where we are today as far as lineup is concerned.
You guys all seem like a really great fit together, so it's cool that worked out. So how did you switch from guitar to bass?
Well, okay, so I locked myself in my room for a summer. Mm-hmm. Just like because I just wanted to learn guitar. I had played music forever. Like,
pre-COVID.
Yeah. The years and years ago. I was classically trained. I played like trombone and I was in drum line and stuff for years and years. But I wanted to learn guitar. I had a buddy who kind of helped me, but mostly I was self-taught. And then I just started writing lyrics and songs. Like they were just like basics, like real little ditties. But like after a while, they started getting better and like. I went there and learned how to play bass, and at first it was just root notes and stuff, like like any bass player. But eventually, I kind of got the hang of it, and
So it was more out of like a necessity of what the band needed.
Exactly.
Okay.
I probably would have ended up playing guitar if they didn't need a bass player, but whatever. At first it was weird too because I was like, I don't like this that much, but eventually it really grew on me, and I kind of like grooving on the bass.
Well, I'm sorry to mess that up for you.
Yeah.
And as far as like the show that we did tonight, like what would you say about your 4 songs that you guys played tonight?
What would we say about the 4 songs we played tonight? They were definitely carefully picked, and we kind of wanted to pick songs that went from our early days all the way to something that hasn't been released yet. So we gave you American Honey, which has always been a crowd favorite. It's a really pulling you apart breakup song. It's sad, a lot of people have felt that way at one point in their life.
Yeah.
So
more people have come to me and been like, that song's relatable than like probably.
Yeah, people can definitely connect.
Ultraviolet has also been like a fan favorite. It was like our first single off of the full length. Mm-hmm. And then Donuts was more so like, it's also been a fan favorite, but it was just like more so like with the times going on right now. It's all about like, police brutality, like anti-establishment, like rising up against it and stuff like that. So we felt like it was a perfect time to play a song like that and like, display it like or whatever.
Yeah, the interesting part was Donuts was written well before all the current events were happening. So it kind of came to age. It was like a precursor of what was about to happen off of smaller events that kind of went under the radar, didn't have the support, and it's like, well, now all these things are going on, and it's like...
Yeah, because at first it kind of felt like just another angry punk song, but it kind of grew into itself.
It means a lot more now. Yeah, it means a lot more now than it did back when we wrote it.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Definitely points out some major issues in society in general.
And you guys played a brand new song tonight, right?
Yeah, Sneakers. We wrote it literally a week ago. Yeah, it's a good song. It's kind of in the realm of UV about like, regretting dumb decisions you made when you were a kid, taking substances you probably shouldn't have been taking, stuff like that.
It was a lot about like, well, Jay brought the song forward, and like a lot of the vocals are about like, because Jay went to Full Sail, I went to Full Sail, and a lot of like the structure of the song started about like being about like times being young and dumb, living it out of state, doing stupid shit with your friends. And then it kind of like evolved from there.
Yeah, first time the parents aren't around and you're just kind of, you got friends, but we all have friends that probably aren't the best friends, and it's like, and it's just kind of about hanging out with those friends, realizing they're not good friends.
It's like meeting, when you like, for people that have ever moved out of state and they don't know anybody that lives in that state, they meet a lot of people real quick, and you think that they're like good friends, but then you know what? After like 4 to 6 months, you realize like, yo, these people are kind of shitheads. Like they might not be like the best people I should be hanging out with, and that's kind of like where that song is like.
You find yourself doing a bunch of stuff that you wouldn't really want to do, but
or you would have done it, but you would have done it with like better people.
Yeah.
Type things, like, you know, like.
Yeah. So, anyway,
Florida.
that's the new one, and that's also, you know, we like that we got the opportunity to share a new song just so we can show some, you know, what have we been doing since this COVID thing happened. You know, obviously when the quarantine was going on, we weren't even jamming, and then once that got lifted, we're like, all right, we'll start writing again. Mm-hmm. And luckily, everyone kind of had some ideas and brought a bunch of new songs to the table.
And we've got about probably 5 or 6 tracks, like, written and structured out so far. So that's just one of them.
I start recording sometime next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Write a couple other things and then hit the studio, depending on what the state of the industry is at, you know.
Yeah.